was asked by a reporter following it if Russell Wilson's personal trainers and coaches are going to be allowed into the facilities like they were last year, like they were in Seattle. And he said, no, that's very foreign to me, and that's not going to be allowed. And I thought that was a very stern answer and very crazy to see. But you know what? He is laying down his law. He is the head coach. Do you think that's going to be anything? You think it's an overreaction?
I don't know. I think people can read into it how they want to read into it. But I think that's Payton being Payton, all right? So over in college football, Coach Deion Sanders, primetime, he took over the head coaching position for Colorado. And he implemented some disciplinary, he said, no hats in interviews upcoming, or team meetings this upcoming season. And he said no ears piercings during those as well, right? So I think there's some sort of... it's kind of unique to see this, right? So I think Prime and Payton are about the same age. So I just think they are from a different time, and that's what they want to go with, right? So I think part of the issue in the Denver locker room was team chemistry, right? Russell got all of these special privileges, and Sean Payton sees that that was a chemistry issue, right? That's a locker room problem. So you stop it right here, and Russell will adjust. I think Russell probably got humbled after last season, so hey, let's see what they can do.
Fantastic take. I kind of echo everything that you just said there. He kind of does. When he was humbled, last season, and the team was turning on him, and he wasn't having that, I'm the leader of the team vibe about him. I do think that he needed to take a step back and kind of look at himself. And hopefully that this decision by Payton is one of the many that are going on behind the scenes to kind of ground Russell Wilson and make him realize he's not bigger than the team. I'm not saying that's how it is, but I'm saying that might be good for him because some of his best football has occurred when it was him kind of out of the spotlight, if that makes sense. So, and also I just wanted to say to your Deion Sanders point, Gagan, me and you definitely wouldn't be going and playing for Colorado with that no ear piercing rule, man. Our high school selves would never have allowed that.
That would have been it, but I'm pretty sure we both took a job at the same place back in high school that actually made us take our piercings out. So we're okay with it, right? We've been there, we've done that, so we understand it. But the other point I also want to touch on, look, Russell reached out to Sean Payton, right? Sean Payton didn't have to do this. He took this job, honestly, as a favor and probably more as a challenge for himself. So let's see where this goes.
Agreed. This is definitely still a relationship that I think can work in the NFL. I'm not overreacting to this news at all, but I did think it was interesting to bring up and almost maybe a positive thing if I'm a Denver fan, understanding that my coach, isn't Coach Happy-Go-Lucky Hackett, where he's allowing anything to occur, doesn't seem to have any respect of the team. Now you've got Sean Payton laying down the law, and he's done it before. He's won a Super Bowl. Those guys are going to have a lot of respect for him.
And look, I'm glad that you mentioned Coach Hackett. I'm not going to lie. A couple days ago, I had to revisit the clip. It was actually the Peyton Manning and the Eli Manning broadcast. They had on the great Shannon Sharpe, and it was the last minute or so of the opening game of the season, which is the Broncos in Seattle. And one of my favorite scenes is Hackett calls the timeout right after wasting about 30 seconds. And Jerry Jeudy comes to the sideline, and he gives Hackett a hug. And you could just see Hackett really feeling himself. And I was like, oh, man, if only Hackett knows what's coming. So it was interesting to see his body language and his energy in that moment of time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but was that the game against Seattle?
Correct. Yes. That's in Seattle, opening game where they wanted to kick a 60-something yarder at sea level in Seattle.
They made that so much more difficult than it needed to be on that final drive. That was a very tough homecoming for Russell Wilson and kind of a start to what was an absolutely terrible, forgettable season for the Broncos.